right, welcome you guys. Thanks for joining me. This is Abigail with Medicare with Jake. And today we are going to talk about one of the basics, just some basic information on how to apply for Medicare. There are several different ways that you can apply for it. We want to make sure that you have all the information and forms that you need to get that taken care of depending on your situation. So the first way to apply for Medicare, and certainly the easiest for most people, is going to be online. This is true especially of those that are turning 65 and getting onto Medicare right away. We haven't delayed due to work coverage or anything like that. If you're turning 65 and getting onto Medicare right during that window, going online is certainly going to be the easiest way to do that. Now you're going to do that, believe it or not through Medicare's website, but Social Security. So just a quick bullet list of steps. You go to ssa.gov. That is the official Social Security Administration website. You click on the Medicare tab if there is one. Sometimes it's on the home page. Otherwise, you click Menu, hit Medicare, apply for Medicare only. That's a key in this online application process. What you're telling them is, I'm just applying for my Medicare benefits, not also applying for my Social Security retirement benefits. That can be a whole nother conversation. So to just apply for Medicare, you go to ssa.gov, click on Medicare, click on Apply for Medicare Only, and follow those prompts. You will need to have a My Social Security account. Now, if you don't already have one, when you go in to sign up, it will actually have you create one during that process. So it's okay if you haven't created one before. If you don't remember, maybe you did a couple, 3 years ago, but you don't remember username and password, I usually encourage people to, before getting into the Medicare sign-up process, actually go to the Sign In, Sign Up button at the top of the ssa.gov website and reset your password if need be. That way you know you're working with current username and password. You don't have to do that during your Medicare enrollment process. Get that squared away first. If you've determined you have an account, you just can't remember, get your password updated and everything else. And the key thing to remember there is log out. Make sure you log out of your account before you get back in to enroll in Medicare. Because during that process of actually getting your Apply for Medicare Only benefits started, it's going to ask you to put in your username and password if you've already got an account. So if you are already logged in while you're trying to do this, it's more difficult. Let me just tell you that. So make sure if you do need to reset your password, you have an account, you can't remember for sure, get that taken care of beforehand, and then log out of that account and go back in to click Medicare, Apply for Medicare Only, and go from there. It is pretty self-explanatory. It walks you through each step, but certainly we're always available if people have questions. And feel free to call us as opposed to Social Security at that time. Usually you're going to get through to someone with us a lot faster than you would the Social Security office, but they're always available as well. So the easiest way, most direct way, especially when you're turning 65, go online. ssa.gov is where it all starts. But not everybody is getting onto Medicare right at 65, right? I mean, a lot of us, especially a lot more with the full retirement age being pushed back later and later, we're working. We're working past age 65, we're keeping employer coverage, so we don't really need full Medicare benefits those first few years that we're eligible. So at that point, we need to go a little bit of a different route. You can still go online to do this, but we've run into a few hiccups with this. So our recommendation, it's a little more manual, if you will. So if you've delayed Medicare due to employer coverage, there are two key forms, and you'll find those on our website under the Forms tab, that you're going to need to turn in. One of those is basically proof of employment coverage. This is what tells Medicare, Social Security, that you've had creditable coverage since turning 65 and you do not need to be penalized. We want to make sure we avoid being penalized for not having coverage during that time. So your employer, the person that handles your benefits, HR, insurance, whoever's in that department, they're actually going to fill out that form. It's just a single page form. It's very, very simple. They put in their confirmation of your enrollment into their group plan, how long you've had coverage, when it ends, all of that good stuff. So they need to give that form back to you unless they are turning in both of your forms for you. So you want to make sure the 2 forms you have to turn in get turned in together. The second form is an application for Medicare Part B. Now, if you never applied for Part A, you can, in theory, use this form as well. We're just going to make a note on it that you're applying for both Part A and B benefits. But this is a specific application to Medicare saying, I'm ready to start my Part B, which is what I've elected to delay because of that employer coverage, right? We don't need Part B and Medicare and employer coverage, or we're double covered, we're double paying, and they don't always coordinate very well. So that's the reason for delaying that Medicare enrollment. And so now we need Part B to go effective. It's a very, very basic form. It's a half page. You put in your contact information. If you already have a Medicare number, you put that at the top. Kind of a trick would be to also include your Social Security number. That way they can make sure your 2 forms that should go faxed in together at the same time, yes, I did say fax, we'll get to that, that those 2 forms being turned in at the same time stay together and are using the same Social Security number. So that's just kind of a safeguard and a way to make sure that those forms don't get separated. So you put in your Medicare number and or both your Social Security number at the top, name, phone number, address. Then in the bottom half, it just says remarks. And this is where you're going to want to hand write in basically something to the effect of, please begin my Part B benefits effective July 1st, whatever year, or September 1st, or April 1st, whenever it is that you want those benefits to begin. If you also need Part A, you never did apply for it, it was never automatically assigned to you, you can at the same time use that form and just say, please begin both Part A and B benefits, with Part B going effective the first of whatever month you're choosing. I will tell you right now, you want to try to give yourself a good 60 to 90 days head start on this. I know that might sound crazy, and some people don't know. They don't know exactly when they're going to retire, or they're just sometime in these next few weeks or months, but there is such a backlog and it takes time to get this stuff processed. You will do yourself a favor if you can give yourself a good 60 to 90 days. That gives us the time we need for everything to be submitted, be received, get processed, you get your Medicare number if it's not already been assigned, and then the opportunity to sign you up for your secondary coverage. So it just ensures we're not rushing at the last minute. Things happen, life happens, we deal with it. So we work on shorter time frames, certainly, but that would be ideal if you can help it. Give yourself that window of time to work with. So that's the other option, especially for those who are delaying. Like I said, we are faxing that in. I know we don't talk about faxing very much anymore, and I don't mean e-faxing. We are actually literally gonna send this in through a fax machine using a phone number. The reason for that, we do have some online options, but the uploading feature hasn't always been consistent, and we've seen e-faxes get lost. The most effective way we are still finding it to work for you to apply for your benefits after you've turned 65, so you delayed Medicare, is still a little old school, and to send that fax. Get those 2 documents filled out, send them in together, fax them in, ideally to your local Social Security office. We are not sending this into the national office if we can help it. Now, not every community has an office, but certainly you're within a short distance of a major office within your area. Most states, they're going to have anywhere from 3 or 4 offices to 10 or 20 potentially, depending on the state and population. So we can work with you on determining what's your closest local office. We can give you the phone number for that office as well as the local fax number to make sure that that paperwork gets delivered into the right hands. And then you know you're working with someone within your community or nearby and not working with someone in the national office or who knows where. It doesn't mean that they don't know what they're talking about nationally by any means. It's just sometimes nice to know that your forms are staying a little more local. You can also mail them in, certainly. We've got addresses for those, but that also seems to take much, much longer, and also they tend to get lost more frequently. the most effective way we have found to do this still, I just can't reiterate that enough, is to fax them in. So we'd love to help you with that if you need to. We've got all the documentation on our website, but can also get you that local information for your number, your fax number and phone number for your local office. So that's the best way to do it if you are over 65 and have delayed Medicare and are now getting onto it at whatever age, whether that was your full retirement age or you're even 70, 71, 75, whatever it is, whenever it is, we can help walk you through that. And the third option, now this is maybe less of an option, but just something to be aware of. If at 65, you are already drawing Social Security, so we're coming up to your birthday, we know the normal enrollment window when we turn 65 is that 7 months, the month of your birthday being right in the middle, and then the 3 months prior, 3 months after. That's kind of the normal enrollment window at a turning 65. However, if you are drawing Social Security already, you've chosen to draw it early. Obviously, we can do that as early as age 62. You are pretty well, without exception, going to automatically be enrolled in Medicare A and B at age 65. You will get a card in the mail that you didn't even know you asked for, because you didn't. Basically, they just assume you want Medicare and you're not working. They assume because you are drawing Social Security prior to 65 or your full retirement age that you must not have coverage elsewhere. Now, of course, that's not always true, right? We might have coverage through a working spouse. There could be other things. You know, we are drawing Social Security, but we are still working. We find that occasionally, and so you do have work coverage. So there's definitely exceptions to needing Medicare at age 65 just because you're taking Social Security, but you will automatically be assigned a card, almost guaranteed. So be looking in the mail for that. If that's you, if you're approaching your birthday, you're within, I'd say even 12 months, 6 months of your birthday, be watching the mail. They're very discreet envelopes. They don't say, I'm your Medicare card on the envelope. So you want to look for that, because many a Medicare card has been thrown away inadvertently, thinking that it was junk mail, especially for those that are turning 65 but already drawing Social Security. They had no idea they were being given Medicare automatically. So we want to make sure you're aware that that is likely going to happen. If you have other coverage and don't want or need Medicare, you can opt out of it. That's actually an option written on the back of your card. I don't need Part B. You can go ahead and disenroll me from that until the time comes when you're ready to re-enroll. But that, again, is a very one-on-one conversation we can have with you, and certainly have some recommendations on going through that process as well. So I hope that's answered the questions you might have had regarding how do I even get Medicare. Number one, when you're turning 65, go online. Absolutely the easiest way to do it. Number two, if you're retiring after age 65, need to show you've had creditable coverage, there's a couple documents to turn in, and we're going to do that a little old-fashioned way with fax. So we've got those documents and we've got those numbers to give you. And then number three, if you're already drawing Social Security at age 65, you've likely already been sent a card without you even realizing it as you approach your birthday, but you can opt out of it if you would like to, and we can help you walk through that process. So if you have specific questions, need anything related to your situation, please give us a call. We'd love to help you. You can reach us at 833-NOW-JAKE. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.